Another video. I thought I would do answer a question from a viewer. I think it's a great question and it needs a little bit more clarification. I did a video last year, a whole year ago. I think it was entitled Divine Priestess Path, Divine Love. And in that video, I'm talking about relationships. I'm talking about the I think I bring up the point of destabilizing inside of the old fear-based love pattern. And I'm talking there about how the priestess is of a certain frequency pitch, and to be inside of the fear-based frequency is extremely destructive for the priestess because she is designed for something else. So that was the basis of that video. It relates to this topic and to this question here. So this video might be sort of like a part two. What I think I'll do is read the question, and then I'm going to read you something I wrote a long time ago that relates to relationships, the new paradigm of relationships, I called it. It was the priestess path that was coming through me. This was what seems like about 100 years ago that I wrote it. It's probably about 20 years ago that I did write it. And I'm going to read you that. But let me first find her question. So she says, what do we do if we want just a mundane, normal, healthy partner in marriage, kids, home, and family? Now that I see the priestess role I've been playing, does that mean it's finally over and I've awakened to the folly and can move on? So assuming that this is a woman who is single and has these desires and wants to have a family and kids and a husband at some point, I'm going to answer the question from that framework. There's nothing wrong with wanting marriage and kids and a family and home and all of that. That's a beautiful thing. You can be a priestess and have all that. You can be a priestess and be inside of that. Here's the thing. It's not really about the forms. It's about the frequency of people that come together that create the form. So your main priority is to come into your pitch, come into your frequency, and then you'll be shown, and I mean shown, who you need to be with and for how long. So because prior to coming into your pitch, if you will, your priestess pitch, you don't know a thing about what you need and what relationship you need to be in or what you're doing. It is all about filling some sort of unhealed wound in you and recreating this drama and living in this whole thing of, I need you to complete me. I need something outside of myself to complete me. You really do, as the priestess, I'm talking about the priestess frequency, has to come into her own frequency first before she can actually know and receive what I call sometimes the assignment. Because sometimes you will be put on assignment. Now, when I say that word, I don't mean like robot assignment. No, you'll be very much in love. You feel it's very beautiful, but it will be a task to complete something. And honestly, you could look at any relationship that way. To be honest, they're all that way. There's a reason and a purpose for them. So, yes, you will be guided and shown who you're needing to be with, but typically not before you've done a certain level of work, of the refinement and the purification. Now, many of us will find that we can't do any of that before that level of work is done within us. We will crash and burn. And it's very destructive for the priestess frequency to be inside of that old fear-based pattern. So you really want to do the work. Now, you can be inside of a relationship and do that work at the same time. That might be why that relationship is there for you. Sometimes that's the case. Sometimes you'll need to be alone and do that work. So Your Kundalini is going to guide you to who you need to be with for how long. You may need to be with someone for 2 months. You may need to be with someone for a whole lifetime. This might be a life partner that you need to do serious work with. You're going to be shown, you're going to be guided, and when you are shown and when you are guided, you will obey. There's no negotiation. There's no, well, he's not hot. No. This is not what we're doing. The one of the things that we do have to come to is the place of maturity. This is what spiritual awakening really is. If we want to boil it down, it's maturity. You're coming into spiritual maturation, and you are no longer ruled by what you think you want and what you desire and all that stuff. All of that gets broken down so thoroughly, it's laying in little pieces of shrapnel by your feet. You come into this place where your wants and desires are what your Kundalini or your father and your mother want for you. That's what you want. So whatever it shall be, let it be. And that's the stance. So that's the first part of this. The second part, I wanted to read you something I wrote, 100 years ago. This was me kind of working this out. The new paradigm is based in love. So I'm here already saying it's not based in fear. It's based in love. And it's not defined by romance, sex, relationship, cohabitation, marriage, possession, etc. Love is seen and known as a creative force. And when it is used properly, it will heal, and it also transforms. The main purpose of this relationship and connection is to uplift and heal the consciousness of humanity while releasing an expanded current of radiation and radiance into the masses. Your specific intimate partner whom you are drawn to be with for the purposes of furthering the expansive power of love in expression will be shown to you by the Kundalini. Now, at the time I wrote this, I did not use the word Kundalini. I inserted that later because I did not know the word Kundalini then. I think I probably used the word Shekinah. These partnerships or intimate connections are not necessarily going to require one to live under the same roof. Some will not need to cohabitate in this way. And I go on, and this is a 4-page paper. You are going to be guided on what you need to do, whether you need to live with someone and be married or if you don't. So let's make that clear. Now, I wanted to just add a little piece here, a little nugget, something that I just found a few days ago. This is by a woman named Penny Kelly. She has written a book called Energy and Consciousness. This is volume 3, and I have it. I'm not really able to read much right now, but I can absorb some things. But I saw this one passage, and I had loved it. Very good. So I want to read that for this video because it pertains. The new dance of, now when she's writing this, she's seeing a precog vision. So she's seeing the future. The new dance of male and female relationships require that people come together, enjoy one another, and then go home to do what their life and work required. Thank you. Then come back together to share their news, make love, enjoy a meal or vacation, and then go back to the task of doing what they loved while developing themselves and their skills. New relationships in the dance of love and life needed to be much more fluid and nurturing. The old rules of jealousy, possessiveness, and spending every single moment together were way too confining. So I thought that was beautiful, love it, but because let me tell you this, we're not going to take something like this and then just try to go arbitrarily implement it into your life. It will not work. You need to move to the place of maturity. It's what I'm always saying. Move to the place of maturity so that you come into your place of receiving instruction and receiving your assignment, receiving your place, coming into your pitch, and then you will know what you need to do. The only thing you need to be concerned with right now is clearing your emotional body, moving through the purification and the refinement. And that's the work that no one wants to do. I wanted to share that passage. I love this passage. I loved the question. So I hope I answered it. I answered it to the best of my ability at this time in my own development. So thank you all for listening, guys, and thanks for the comments, and I'll see you on the next video.